think now we'll be able to get everything to work. I just hope that that load is available now. Okay, it looks like that works now. What's up with the Rocket League? Now I can delete it. Oh, that's the wrong Euro truck. Yep, that works. Like I said, I hope it kept the truck, or the load I have there, Messina to Istanbul. That was probably the best load we were going to get. 113 per mile is pretty decent, like amazingly decent. I'm not sure if it's loading or not. Okay, it looks like it's saved, which I hope to God it's saved. If you guys don't know, there's a big northeastern snowstorm. I don't even know the name right now. Let me check. Yeah, I can't find a name, but it's like really bad and it's affecting a lot of different people. And it completely shut down like New York City, I think Philadelphia was more yesterday, but Washington D.C. It really slammed D.C. as well. Massachusetts got hit, although they kind of got the bottom end of the storm. They didn't get too well. The part where a frequent viewer, Hectic, lives didn't get too much. It got quite a bit, but it wasn't as hard hit as New York City, which essentially New York City got hit like really bad, and the subways are closed. There's like highways in like New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, southeastern Pennsylvania, Philly area. Okay, not as much Philadelphia. Philadelphia kind of got over that already, but New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, there's roads closed everywhere. There's like portions of the thruway of the New York Thruway that are closed, parts of the Merritt Parkway, Interstate 84, 95 in Connecticut are closed. New Jersey Route 24, portions of Interstate 80 in New Jersey, and parts of the Garden State Parkway in northeastern Jersey are all closed. It's ridiculous. God knows if everything's going to be fine and dandy, in time for tomorrow morning. Vaccines for COVID-19 are halted because of this snowstorm, at least in the Northeast, mainly like if the further southwest or like northeast you go, or not northeast, northwest you go, in this area, the less likely there is to really be that much of a deal. It's mainly just the Northeast, but mainly like the central Northeast near New York. It's going to hit Maine pretty hard, but I don't think it's gotten to Maine yet. But this is pretty bad. This is probably the worst snowstorm we've had in about 3 or 4 years. Just doesn't feel that significant because COVID and it's just like so much other bad stuff has been going on. Really, half this crap doesn't matter That's like, yeah, you do everything from home anyway, but then it comes to the topic, well, there's people who are, losing their, cell service or whatnot. They can't log on to online meetings. I'm grateful enough to have not to have happened. No problem, Hectic. I know I had to end the stream and all that. It's fine. Now the service is better. Thankfully, that didn't happen to me during school today. I lost power during lunch, but otherwise, I didn't really have too many classes today, so thankfully, I had class from like 7:30 to 8:45, another class from like 9 to 10:15. The power went out at 11, but I was on break from like 10:15 to like 11:30 or something, and then I had class till like, it's the end of the semester, so class was short.
Time to get the
Okay, let's get back to where we started originally. I was about to just start driving. I'd loaded up this trip. We're going from Messina to Istanbul via Bari. We're going to head down to whatever this port is in Greece. We're going to drive across Greece, and we're going to arrive in Istanbul. I've never actually been in Istanbul. Oh my god, excuse me. I do not burp on camera that much. But I have not actually been to Istanbul in single player, only in multiplayer, so it's going to be interesting to see how it is. Anyway, it's a very short drive to the ferry port here, and I need to set my wheel up. Great. Okay. It's fine. It is fine. Yep, the wheel is way off center. It has to be where, like, this yellow bit reaches all the way to the right point of that A. And as long as that happens, there's nothing terrible going on. Alright. We're on the road. And it's time to see, I was pretty hesitant to stream today due to all the snowstorm stuff going on, but I decided to brave it out, because I think the worst of it is almost over.
Go straight.
And I mean, I'm not saying anything won't happen, but I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem, and even if so, I don't think it's going to be too bad to the point where I have to restart too much. But anyway, let's drive, guys.
Get ready to turn right.
We're leaving Messina.
Turn right.
We're taking the bridge out of town.
Get ready to turn right. Turn right. Go straight.
Okay, the pedals are extremely sensitive. I don't know what's up. But, like, I just, like, tap the brakes and, like, the thing stops. That's not what we want. What's just going on? Why are the brakes, like, so sensitive? Well, I think that's more of a gameplay problem. That's not more of a steering problem. Yeah, look, braking intensity is pretty high. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. Let's see what happens.
Let's do this.
Let's see what happens now when I brake. No, what? It's the same. That's because I didn't turn down braking intensity. I turned down truck stability. There we go. Okay, let's turn on the braking intensity.
Come on, there's a job to do.
Let's see what happens now. Let's pass the light first, though, because I know there's people behind me. Let's wait till we get to this light up here. Actually, there's... Oh, no, there is a guy behind me. He's gonna make it. Good. Okay, good. It doesn't stop that quickly. Okay, that's good. That's good. Of course, now we're stuck in traffic because people are trying to turn left instead of right because AI traffic isn't allowed to turn right into the ferry port. So now we're just sitting in traffic waiting for these guys to get out of the freaking way. Come on. Okay, we still gotta wait for this guy to go. Oh no, this guy's gonna get an easy way in. Alright, we can't go because we're not in America or Canada. We can't make a right on red. We gotta wait till the light turns green. Alright, oh. So I am using the Truckee add-on so you could kind of see like what's going on. So like right now it says we have 1,730 kilometers to go before we get to our destination, and we have driven 4 kilometers so far to get there. Now we're getting on the ferry, which is going to take us to Villa San Giovanni. And then from there, we're going to drive to Bari. Okay. And then from Bari, we're going to take another ferry. Now, this ferry's really quick. You're on and off in like 20 minutes. And then we're pretty much on like the highways and all that in mainland Italy. Yeah, it only says how much you've driven though. It doesn't say how much you've like traveled, because the ferry is definitely, you know, as you can tell, it was 9 kilometers, but it says we've only driven, you know, 4 kilometers. So we've only actually driven 4 kilometers. By the way, I'm not sure. I know there's a train that goes on this ferry, but I'm not sure, you know, if they put it in the sim or not. Alright, yeah, we gotta get to Autostrada, which is to the left.
Get ready to turn right.
So we just got a stop sign. Surprisingly, the stop sign is in English. That's kind of weird. I'd figure it would be in Italian, but I guess not. Why is this guy not going? I guess that's for me then to go. Ooh, what the?
Recomputing.
I didn't even touch you, bro. Like, oh my god. Alright, let's keep carrying these medical supplies. I didn't even touch him, and he's like all over the place.
Keep right, and then turn right. Turn right. Go straight.
Okay. We're getting on the Autostrada, though. Stop calling me out. We're getting on Autostrada. We must go fast and speedy. Okay. Okay, bye, San Villa Giovanni. Speed limit's finally 70 Ks.
Keep left.
Oh my god, why are you slowing down? Pass me or don't pass me. Okay, we can cruise control now and all that jazz. Truck feels a bit loose today. I think we should change the steering. There we go. Maybe that's a little bit stabler. Yeah, that's actually pretty, that's a lot better actually. That is actually so much better. So, yeah, I saw that bridge had the logo on it that said that the name of the company that built it, Via Spa, or whatever it's called, that actually built it. I don't... Oh my god, we're going like... Oh my god, we're going way over, but it's fine. What's our ETA is tomorrow night. So we're probably going to get to the ferry port, you know, at night. We're probably going to travel on the ferry overnight and land in Greece in the morning. This isn't our exit either. But we don't have to move out because this lane doesn't go. Well, yeah, it doesn't. That lane goes to the right. Oh my god. Ooh, there was an accident. Oh, oh my, that's awful. Oh, wow. Yeah, this isn't looking good with between me and this coach here on the left. Hopefully this truck on the right will slow him down. There we go. And this guy's going slow in the lane here too. And nobody's winning anymore. Once we get in front of this guy, I mean, we're pretty much good. Or gal, I don't know what gender is driving that truck. Alright, we're going on this for a while. Oh my god, some guy... Dude, there's a lane closure. There's a lane closure. Now he goes faster. This is our exit? This is our exit, though.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right.
Alright.
At the roundabout, take the second exit. Exit now.
Okay, we got a bit of a trip to go now. Up this road. It's kind of weird though that even though the US has more like environmental and cultural and societal problems with like roads than Europe does, it's kind of weird that Europe has like a more like diverse like kind of roadscape that kind of contradicts like what you would say about American roads, like how there's so many tunnels and there's so many like and there's still so many roads combined with train tracks, and it just, it is a different style, I understand. But it just gets to think, like, well, what are the environmental issues going on in Europe? Like, are they as severe as in the US? Sure they are. I understand that, especially in countries like the UK, specifically the UK, nobody drives in the UK. They drive, like, locally, like, where there might not be a bus. But if there's a train, they're taking the train, probably. They rarely ever have to drive anywhere, and if they drive, it's like a luxury thing. It's like, yay, I get to drive somewhere, woohoo. Whereas in America, it's the opposite. It's like, woohoo, I don't have to drive somewhere. I could take a train there instead. Let's go. Whereas in Europe, it's more like, woohoo, I don't have to be on somebody else's schedule and deal with train delays. I can drive myself. And then they realize that they have to drive, and that driving is, annoying. And while it's, fun, it's also annoying. And again, I haven't been in Europe in like 8 years or something like that, and it's kind of hard to judge what's going on in Europe when you just haven't been in Europe in like almost a decade. It's like you don't really know what's going on in the continent. Would love to go visit Europe. If only there wasn't some, threat to humanity called COVID-19 racing around the world, specifically in North America and Europe. Because otherwise, I mean, I could probably go to Europe, but unfortunately, it's just. Plus, I haven't been in a while. Regardless, you know, it was years without a virus. I still wasn't going. What was gonna make me want to go? Anyway, if it wasn't just for going, because I haven't been in a while. In Europe specifically. Thankfully, though, Euro Truck Simulator's really gotten me into just driving around Europe, and other simulators have gotten me around, in other ways, like flying. I can fly over Europe. That's still pretty lit. Now there are a few places that are like on my bucket list. Like, if I go to Europe, I have to go to these places, and I should have gone in the right lane, but it's okay. The first on my list is I want to go to Lapland, Finland, because I really want to see like all the scenery, and I want to be able to like explore like the forests and the trees and all that like really like amazing landscape that they have in Finland. That's like my number one. If I go anywhere in Europe, I want to go there. Next on my list is actually Greece. And why Greece? I'm going way too fast. Greece simply because I just like the architecture in Greece. It's like really like, it's like, ancient. It's like rustic. It's like all these cool things, and I'd love to see it, in person. Specifically, if you haven't been able to tell by some of the streams I've done, specifically the island of Lesbos in Greece, because I've looked at some of the geography and the topography over there, and I'm sure it's the same in other parts of Greece, but just specifically that island in Greece, I want to visit. But another place I'd love to see is specifically more of an urban place, maybe like London, or maybe not necessarily just London, but maybe if not London, I would love to see Zurich, or like, maybe somewhere in Italy, like Milan, or maybe see, maybe go to Germany, see like Frankfurt or Munich, or, I'm trying to think what else, but there's really not much else. Alright, I paid, don't bother me, I paid the toll. I've always been fascinated by just how, like, amazing the UK's public transportation system is. Just because it's just so easy to get around. It's really easy to get around. You want to go from one city to another city? Take a train. I mean, it's probably not cheap, but if you want to get between cities, you don't need a car. You can just take a train. You could still drive. I mean, driving's still cool too. They got plenty of good roads over there, but some of the fun is also just being able to take the train wherever. It's like, especially if you're like me, you're from the United States. You don't get the opportunity to take a train that often. Thankfully, I live in the Northeast. And there are some trains around here. Mainly they are commuter trains, but we do have trains over here, so I haven't been able to ride on one in like 2 years though. The last time I went to New York City, I didn't even go to New York City. I took a bus to Philadelphia, but I had to obviously get a train into New York City because the buses from where I live, I mean, you can get a bus, but it's just a bit of a hassle. Plus, you still have to sit in traffic to get to New York City in the first place, because not only New York City is like really bad with traffic, um, and you just rather take a train instead of the bus, because like I said, you could take a bus to New York City from where I live, but it's not better, and it's not faster really, because the bus, you know, has to drive over like the bridges. And the thing about New York City is you're not allowed to take a commercial vehicle on pretty much all of the bridges of all of the highways in Manhattan Island specifically, which is like where most things are in the city. So if you're taking a bus, you have to take one of like the side bridges, and then from there you have to essentially take the avenues that line New York City all the way down in a commercial vehicle. And some of those avenues are like over 10 miles long, or like 15 kilometers long. It's like flipping ridiculous. To take a bus into downtown Manhattan, or even a truck, but more specifically a bus, because more buses, a lot of buses go down there, and buses will have to cross all those avenues, and those avenues, like I said, they can be like 10 miles long, and it's ridiculous. So if you want to get to Manhattan from where I live easy, you best take a train. And thankfully there's plenty of trains. They're not very frequent, but there still are trains, and no one takes them especially now, but even then, people didn't really take them. I mean, people took them. They were still pretty crowded. The train I took was a reverse commute train, because I was going into New York City on a Friday afternoon, so obviously we're not going to Dubrovnik, we're not going to Bar, we're going to Minitsa, which is an 11-hour ferry ride, meaning we'll be there in the morning. Yeah, see, 8:13 a.m. I was on a reverse because I was going from where I live, you know, basically outside of the city, and I was going to downtown. So it was a reverse commute, because I was going from, you know, from the residential to the main city. So it was a reverse commute. There were no commuters on there. It was everyone going in on Friday nights. And obviously I wasn't going to be in the city I wasn't going to be in Manhattan on Friday night. I was obviously leaving that night to get on a bus for Philadelphia. And it's like, well, and I mean, the buses aren't that bad either. Specifically Megabus, which is what I took to get between New York and Philadelphia. Megabus is cool. It's like one of the only like double-decker buses. I know they're a lot more popular in Europe, but in America you generally only have like Megabus. I think there's a couple more, but that's like the first one you could think of. And Megabus is pretty good. They're pretty much almost always on time, unless there's like traffic. So if you take a Megabus, you never really have to worry about, should I slow this down? Nah, I'm not gonna slow it down. You don't really have to worry about being late, because generally you won't really be late that often on a bus, like a Megabus. If you take those buses out of Chinatown, I'm not sure, they might be more lackadaisical about getting people places, because they are like cheaper bus lines out of Chinatown. But if you don't get one out of Chinatown, you're probably going to get a good bus service. I was warned not to take Greyhound, because of all the stereotypes. I mean, if you've seen any like YouTube videos or like news articles about Greyhound buses, you know why people love to stereotype against Greyhound. Just there's interesting walks of life that ride on those buses, mainly people who can't afford a car or don't own a car for reasons, and they need to get across the country. They'll take a Greyhound, and you get this like interesting combination of people on a Greyhound. It's essentially like being on a party bus, because that's essentially what America treats everything like a party. You know, even if you're with a bunch of people you've never met, it's just essentially how it is. I'm sure it's not on every Greyhound bus, but a lot of, if you've ever seen like a news article, you always see like the weirdest stories about people that ride Greyhound bus. So I was warned off not taking a Greyhound bus. I was with my dad, of course. It wasn't just like me, but was warned not to take Greyhound. So I didn't take Greyhound. I took Megabus, which is a lot, you know, I thought it was pretty cool. It was easy and quick, and it was a lot cheaper than taking Amtrak. So there is Amtrak, there is Excella, which is a basis off Amtrak, and they're working to increase travel times between DC and Philly, New York, Boston, and all that stuff. The problem is on a Friday night, they are extremely expensive. I think I looked for tickets. We couldn't even get a ticket. My dad and I couldn't even get a ticket. The latest we could have left on Friday was like 1 p.m. My dad's still at work. I'm still at school. Not happening. Specifically, my dad being at work, because that's more, not necessarily more necessary than school, but it's a lot harder to get off of work than off of school. School, you can just leave. I mean, you just get a note and you leave. They can't really do much about it besides like be like, yeah, but you're gonna miss a lot of stuff. Whereas work, you actually have responsibilities and all that stuff. Yeah, it's just a lot better to not miss work. So yeah, if the earliest train you could get out of New York to get to Philadelphia was 1 p.m., you're gonna take the bus, especially since Amtrak would have been like $300 a ticket. The bus was like $30 or $40 a ticket, and it was round trip, so it was only like $60 for both of us to ride the bus. Wasn't that bad. Now, buses are also popular in Europe, but obviously trains too. Buses are more popular in like mainland Europe because you can't really get a train from everywhere, so you'll take a local bus to a major city and get one of like the major bus companies like, you know, National Express, WeBus, Flixbus, or one of those companies that'll get you, you know, across fast. And then you take another local bus to wherever you gotta go. That's generally how the buses work over there. Whereas in America, the buses, you do have like the local buses, but most of the time you can get a bus from like a smaller city to a major city and then to another major city pretty easily. It's not that difficult. Because there's a lot fewer bus companies. There's a lot of budget ones, but there's very few like major ones. You got, you know, Greyhound, you got Megabus, you got Bolt Bus. Bolt Bus is pretty big. Flixbus is also in the US too. We have Megabus and Flixbus here in the US as well, if you didn't know. And like I said, I took Megabus. And I know there is Megabus and Flixbus. I mean, Flixbus is based in Germany. And Megabus, I'm not sure where it's based. I think it's... Is it based in America? I think it is based in America. But they're also in Europe. So it's kind of like a trade-off. Like, they gave us Flixbus, we gave them Megabus. Buses are pretty important in America, though, since there are no trains. You have to take the bus if you really want to get anywhere. Which is why, like I said, if people don't own a car, they can't afford it, they take the Greyhound across the country or whatnot if they need to. Or sometimes Greyhound's also used where there's like not, you know, good bus transportation, like in Texas. You know, there's not, well, not specifically Texas, but if you're trying to go from Texas to somewhere else. Like within Texas, Megabus runs through there, so it's not that hard to get around Texas. Like, you know, if you want to go from like, you know, Houston to Dallas, or like Dallas to El Paso. Well, maybe not El Paso, that's pretty far. But if you want to go between like Houston and Dallas, I don't think it's that bad. But if you want to go from Texas to somewhere else, you know, it's gonna be a bit difficult. Or if you're like out west, like if you want to get between like Portland, Oregon, and like Boise, there's really no bus. But mainly everywhere else, there's like another bus company. The Northeast has all the Megabus. Florida has Megabus. The tri-state area of like Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana, they generally all have, I think it's Hoosier or something. Ohio and Indiana have Hoosier, I know that. I think the West, besides having Megabus, they also have like other companies. Like if you want to get between Los Angeles and Vegas, you can easily get between there. There's a lot of buses that can generally get you there without taking a car. It's just people don't like the buses because, well, they only depart the big city. So if you don't live near a big city and you can't get to the big city easily, then, you know, without driving and parking your car in one of the expensive freaking lots, it's not worth it. You know, you might as well just drive yourself there. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous for me to take a bus because me driving to Philadelphia is like 3.5 hours, but you know, the bus, I left Philadelphia Sunday morning. The bus left at 11 a.m. I got back home at 4:30 or something. That's 5.5 hours. That's almost 5.5 hours compared to the 3.5 hour drive we would have had. But at the same time, there was a lot less hassle. Well, actually, that's a lie. I had to leave the hotel at like 10 in the morning, and so it was more like 6 hours. So that's like double the time. But obviously, taking the bus and obviously the train that took me from New York City to where I live, not that big of a hassle whatsoever. Because, I mean, the bus driver's driving you. It's like a little, it's, you know, not as fast paced. You get to relax. You don't have to drive. You can catch up on, you know, reading or work or whatnot. You know, you don't have to worry about driving your butt back if you're on like business or whatnot. You can just take the bus. There's a lot of benefits to taking public transportation, but mainly public transportation is only good for like work purposes. Like people like to take the train so they can work on the train, or people like to take a plane so they can work on the plane. Or they take the bus so they can work on the bus. Although I think buses are more restrictive because there's not as much space and it's more crowded on a bus. Of course, more crowded on a plane, but people still work on planes anyway. But that's another thing I want to point out. If you can't take a bus or you can't take a train, like I said, a bus you can get for pretty much anywhere to anywhere. A train, you know, trains are popular, like in the if you're in like, you know, the Northeast especially, there's a lot of trains, specifically in like Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. Not as much Delaware, Maryland, or like, you know, the upper Northeast, like New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine don't really have trains either, but you might see a few. Florida's got like a really decent train line called Bright Line or something that's like offering, they're building an extension to like Orlando, and it's the train's essentially going to go from Orlando to Miami, and they're going to upgrade the track between Orlando and Palm Beach to be like, you know, 120 miles an hour, which is pretty slow, especially compared to like European trains, but considering the fastest train we have in America right now is like 130 miles an hour, it's decent. And that's the Northeast Corridor Excella trains. But like I was gonna say, if you can't get a train, you can't get a bus, and you don't want to drive or it's too far to drive, people take plane. Now, don't get me wrong, people in Europe also take plane if they're going, you know, like people aren't necessarily up to taking a train between London and Warsaw. That's kind of far to go by train. That's like 10 hours. In that case, you fly. But, I mean, in America, flying is, like, big. Like, there are so many airlines that profit from, like, hour-long flights. Like, there are literally flights that go from, like, New York to Washington, or they go from like Los Angeles to Vegas, or they go from like San Francisco to Medford, Oregon. Medford and San Francisco are like an 8-hour drive apart. In Europe, on a somewhat fast-moving train, you could probably go between San Francisco, California, and Medford, Oregon, probably in about 5 or 6 hours. The Amtrak's longer because the Amtrak sucks. Not Excella, but just the Amtrak in general. Although the Amtrak does carry so many people. It's essentially the Greyhound of trains. But I'm just saying, if you can afford to fly and you don't feel like driving and you can't take a train or a bus, or you just don't want to take that, people fly. It's not like there's nothing between like how Europeans will drive if it's short distance, take like a train or a bus if it's medium, or fly if it's long distance. No, it's like people are either like to drive long distances or they hate it and they're gonna take a plane. Unless they're driving like 2 or 3 hours maximum. There's two types of people in America. People who like to drive or like to take ground transportation wherever they go, or there's people who just like to fly everywhere. There's people who hate flying, but they're conglomerated into the people who like to drive and take trains and stuff, which doesn't happen very often. But they exist nonetheless. It's just like, well, people just love to fly, I suppose. I mean, flying is pretty cool. I mean, especially since most Americans won't get to fly abroad, like, even to, like, Canada or Mexico or whatnot. It's good enough that they get to fly across their own country. I've taken plenty of flights domestically. The problem that I have, though, is that American Airlines, not the airline, but airlines that fly across the United States of America, are terrible. Let's just say the fact. Except for Delta, JetBlue, and what's the other airline that's, like, really good? Southwest is pretty good, too. Southwest, I'm trying to think of what other airlines are, like, really good. Yeah, Delta, JetBlue, and Southwest are, like, the best airlines. All the other airlines suck. United sucks. American sucks. Spirit, actually, I would consider Spirit better, although Spirit does suck, too. Frontier sucks. I've never heard much about, like, SunWest or, like, Howdy or whatnot, or, like, those, like, small, or Allegiant. I think Allegiant sucks, too, but don't quote me on it. Airlines in the U.S. suck. And so that's why mainly people don't like to fly, because they suck. They suck a lot. I haven't been on an American or United flight in 7 years, and I'm very happy about that, because I do not want to ride on either of those airlines. If I have to, I will, but if I don't have to, I'm not going to. I always prefer to fly JetBlue specifically because I live near New York City, so JetBlue is based there, so it's pretty cool to fly JetBlue when I can. I flew JetBlue the Christmas right before the pandemic. I went and flew to Oregon, which was very, very fun. And I flew JetBlue, so JetBlue is cool. The only weird instance I had on a JetBlue flight was when the flight attendants were handing out the snacks. So this flight attendant, right, is handing out the snacks, but he's not just, like, coming over with the cart to be like, all right, what do you want today? No. This flight attendant, he takes the snack cart. I don't know if I told the story on this channel. He takes the snack cart, and he just puts it right in front of me. Like, he just takes the snack cart, and he just yeets that thing in front of my face. And it's just like, I still laugh about it to this day, because it's just like, wow, that flight attendant, he was an interesting flight attendant, that guy. The rare instance where we actually have a male flight attendant, he is a quirky one at most, but I digress.
Then turn right.
Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a screenshot and then I'll keep talking. Alright, yeah, that was the only weird thing, was the flight attendant literally just shoves the... But it wasn't even like a cart. He didn't even have a cart. He had like this tray of snacks. And of course this is before COVID-19. So we weren't so worried about, you know, people, you know, picking through things and all that stuff. You know, you could, you know, the flight attendants could just hand you a tray of snacks and you could just pick what you wanted without worrying too much about it.
And then turn right.
This was, you know,
Turn right.
it was a very more relaxed time. I'm in the wrong lane too.
Find a new route.
I actually was supposed to go that way. Okay, yikes. Oh my god. Okay, we went the wrong way, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. It's just instead of taking the bypass, we're just going through downtown Thessaloniki, which is fine.
At the roundabout, take the third exit.
But yeah, the flight attendant just shoving the tray of snacks, you know, right in front of me is the weird story, especially considering we've been extremely, you know, worried about people touching things for the last, like,
Exit now.
11 months. It's kind of weird to be hearing stories about how, like, oh yeah, the last plane I was on, the flight attendant literally, like, shoved the tray of snacks in our face and just let us pick out. And it's just like, well, I think he did that because he didn't want us to feel like we had to take, like,
Go
just
straight.
one snack. Like, I took 2 snacks, I think, since he just put the tray in front of us. So it was kind of like, yeah, well, we gotta go with that. I gotta just take whatever I could. I didn't take too much because I'm not a fatso. Well, not trying to offend fatsos. I shouldn't be calling them fatsos. People, obese, overweight people. There we go. Not trying to offend any of that. All I'm saying is that all I'm just saying is I wasn't in the mood to eat 5 different snacks. And plus, I'm not a snob either.
Keep left, and then turn
So
left.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna take that and take it from there.
Turn left.
But nothing really happened on the flight back, and I've already talked about my trip to Oregon plenty, and plus my trip to Oregon was like 14 months ago. Almost that much, so I don't really want to talk it out, especially since I kind of forget what happened. I know I went to a waterfall and I saw all this cool stuff, but otherwise, like, don't expect to remember everything that happened. I think I could move over one more lane.
Keep left.
Oh, shoot. Nope. I regret that decision. It's fine, there's nobody here. Tesco, weirdly enough, made that left turn and then just decided to take the Beltway. I'm guessing he made a wrong turn. He must have taken a wrong turn. I don't know why he needed to go that way. We don't need to get off here. We're going towards Khobehh. Ooh, my God.
Keep left.
Thank God, we're actually going the right way this time. Let's go. Ah, crap. Okay, we're good. Okay, just leaving this lane wide open for me, I see. Ah, crap. Okay. €8 for that toll, not bad. There's a lot of tolls on this road, but it's fine. I wish we could go to Athens, but unfortunately, we can't. Because not in Promods yet. I'm gonna clock it in at 47, I think, would probably be decent. There we go. Get back on that side. This is not a... Oh, the next toll's coming up, but not just yet, thankfully.
Keep left.
That's a nice view. Okay, yeah, you could tell that we're... yeah, you can see at the top, we're actually... You could I didn't even notice it. Well, I did, but I forgot about it. That you can see exactly what your cruise control is set at. So it's 75 Ks. So that gives you an easy kind of conversion factor. If you're trying to convert between the... Yeah, see, it even tells you, like, the speed and all that. I mean, we're coming up to a toll booth, so it's probably not worth the speed up anyway. Okay, we're coming up on something here. I'm not sure what it is. I'm liking all the new like in-game overlays that are coming up. Okay, someone needs to translate that. My bad. Of course, why can I not translate on this website anymore? I mean on that. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, that's right, I didn't copy anything. Okay. Okay. We're just gonna keep driving. You guys have really long runoff lanes here. Alright. As much as it's as much as I appreciate the effort for you translating, I don't even know if you can understand me right now, but as far as I understand, but if you can't, I'll just explain here. As much as I appreciate this guy's effort for translating, if he doesn't understand what I'm saying back to him, it's not really that worth it. But if you can't understand me, I'm doing great. And how are you doing? But if not, if you can't understand me, then I apologize, and I'm going way too fast. Okay, we gotta slow it down here. Okay, how's it going on? Things are going well. How are you doing? I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I've never learned. Greetings from Greece. Yeah, we're driving across Greece here. It's pretty cool. I'm sorry I never learned Greek, but I'm glad you're here. How are you doing? It's just the way that you Oh, you search for Greek live. I mean, I'm driving across Greece, so that's pretty cool. It's just I didn't know if you can understand me, 'cause just the way you translated, how is it going on? That doesn't make sense in English, so I was like thinking you translated it from Google Translate. That's all. But thank you for coming around. I'm surprised I even popped up on Greek Live, because, and weirdly enough, this is not even my first like Greek themed like live stream. Like, I've done like flights in Greece, I've done like other drives in Greece, so this is not like my first rodeo when it comes to that. That's completely fine. I mean, learning English is tough. I mean, there's plenty of examples. I'm just saying that that's the reason why I thought you were translating, because of the way you translated it. That's fine, though. But don't believe me, I've had plenty of experience dealing with Greek people who, if like, came to my channel looking for Greek-themed simulation. Oh, bro. Why are you... Oh, that's the rest area. Alright, I think we... Alright. I hope we didn't chase him off. Because I see the view counter went down again. I hope we didn't chase him off. I'm terribly sorry. I enjoyed your company plenty. You were a great person. Good. Language barriers suck, basically, and I wish I... As much as I wish I could learn every language, I don't know every language. I know some Spanish. I once had a Spanish speaker on here. I was able to communicate with him okay in Spanish. He knew English too, but I was able to talk to him in Spanish too. I'm going way too fast. I gotta try to look for the stream where I was talking to that guy in Spanish, because I really want to, especially since I haven't taken Spanish this year, so it's, I kind of want to see. Spanish just didn't fit in my schedule, that's why. I wanted to take Spanish, it just didn't fit. Truck lane's over here. We're entering Turkey now. We're entering Turkey now. I don't know why, but I'm starting to feel like the people in Greece are, like, very hospitable. I mean, they're always really passionate about... I feel like they're very patriotic about their country, and I appreciate that a lot. About the Greeks, and especially with... when I did that video last year where I flew around Lesbos. Or not last year, it was 2 years ago. Oh my god, I'm getting old. Trucks on the right. They're always, you know, looking for stuff. I got this guy, he was from the island of Lesbos. He asked me to do a flight. I did a flight. On my other channel, though. He commented on this channel, and I did it on my other channel. He watched it. It was great. While we're checking documents, I want to try something out here. Greek Live. Okay, I don't pop up. When I type in Greek Live, I see Greek League of Legends, I see sexy Greek girls dancing Chifteli, and don't ask me to pronounce that. I see Booga wins the Fortnite World Cup in Greek. I see Greek Live, I see Survivor Greece live stream, Survivor Greece, A Day in the Life of an Ancient Athenian, Hebrew and Greek live in Israel, Greek concerts live, best Greek concerts, Peppa Pig in Greek, EU custom matchmaking, gifting subs, Fortnite, Greek gods. I'm not even paying attention. Greek music, Greek mix, whatever this is, Arena Grind by George Star Gamer, more Greek Fortnite. Yeah, I didn't see that, but thankfully he came to the live stream. But like I said, I've had very good experience with the country of Greece and its people. I've never had a bad experience, really, with anyone from Greece. Specifically people from Greece, not like Greek immigrants in the US. I'm specifically talking about people that live in Greece at the moment. They've always been good on YouTube and all that. Even this guy from Cyprus, you know, we got into a bit of a communication error, but we managed to get out of it. Mainly that area, weirdly enough, has been pretty nice to me, you know, especially with me being that American guy. I've had a good experience with people from that part of this part of the world on this channel. I've never really had an experience where I've had like a Turkish guy or a Greek guy, you know, yelling at me. I know especially in Eurotruck, Turkish people are always seen as like those like awful driving people on the multiplayer servers that like mess up your day. I've never had a bad experience though.
Go straight.
Yeah, I'm going way too fast here. Oh my god, I'm going faster here. But if we're gonna drive successfully through Turkey, we gotta drive like a Turk, and that is extremely aggressive. Pretty much like Russian drivers, except more aggressive. Like, essentially like this. Oh, wow, you see, but if you drive too aggressively, you'll end up like that car that just flipped over in the road there. Otherwise... Yeah, you see, you can't drive too aggressive or end up like people like that, but otherwise you're fine if you just drive extremely aggressive and don't give a crap about anybody around you. You'll be fine. Alright. Okay, we got 2 hours to drive until we get to Istanbul.
Keep left.
Okay, we're not in Tekirdağ anymore. Now we're off to Istanbul. We're almost there pretty much. Okay, we got another roundabout we gotta slow down for, and then we'll hit the toll booths at Istanbul, and then we'll be there pretty much.
Exit now.
So it's not actually 90 or 80 through here. It's actually 85k is through here. Is what I'm getting at. Because 50 is 80, 56 is 90, so 53's got to be 85. But unfortunately, we have to go through the way station. So that kind of sucks.
Okay, let's find a new route.
Okay, we're done pretty much. So now we can head on our way.
Keep left. Never mind. I'll find a new route.
Start of the toll road, fee will be paid at
Keep
the end.
right. Then exit right. Exit right.
And if you guys are in chat wondering why I'm not reading chat right now, I got kind of embarrassed at how I reacted to the last guy that came in here and how I scared him off, and I don't really want to check the chat until the end. So if you guys are in the chat, I do apologize, but I just don't really want to check chat right now. I kind of just want to get to our destination. I'm trying to get there as quick as I can. We've driven very far, and we will not stop until this trailer is delivered.
Keep left.
Okay.
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right.
All right. Welcome to Istanbul. Okay. Duramax, sorry I missed your message.
At the roundabout, take the first exit.
But I'm glad you came by.
Exit now. Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right. Turn right, and then turn right. Turn right. Get ready to turn right.
Alright, we're here. Woohoo.
Turn right. This is where it ends.
Yep. Alright. That's it for driving purposes. That was plenty of driving for one live stream. I don't even know where I want to go next from here. Plus, by the time I do this, 2.52 might be out, and I may not be able to go in any of these places, which is why I really don't want to say anything right now. I think I'd rather leave it for there. We've got a lot of map covered. We still haven't really ventured into like places like Vienna, this Nuremberg not necessarily, but I'd be interested to see like the Rhine area, like Wiesbaden, Koblenz, Bonn. Those areas might be cool to visit. I've seen quite a bit of up here, which is always pretty cool. Um, Zwolle and Groningen are always cool to look at. I don't know if this is different, the Aufschlussdike up here. I've seen plenty of Germany on this. I've not seen too much of Poland. I've seen a lot of Spain, though, as well as, plenty of. I've been through pretty much all of the UK. I just haven't been through, like, for example, I haven't taken, like, the M5 down to, like, Exeter or Plymouth. I haven't taken, like, the A14 down to Felixstowe. I've gone to Chelmsford, but I've never been to, like, Norwich or, like, up, like, I haven't been up in this portion of Scotland, like I haven't in Bradford, Lochboysdale or whatnot. Ireland, I've scratched the surface of, but I haven't been to like Londonderry. I have been to Larnose. That's good. As long as I've been there, that's fine. There's still a lot. I have been to Trieste, so don't let that fool you. I have been to Trieste. And I haven't been to Moldova though. Yeah, I'd like to check out Moldova, but I'm not sure what I want to do yet. So we're gonna end it off here. I appreciate y'all for sticking around, checking out the stream. I'm gonna end it off there. Thank y'all for coming. I will see you guys next time. All right, we played for 2 hours and we earned 92 grand. Wow. Should I look it up on this? How much is 92,000 euros to USD? Wow. Well, that's also because inflation. I mean, it's been pretty steady, though. But it looks like the US dollar is king here. It is. Actually, I think the US dollar lost value because I thought the US dollar was worth more than the euro, but it looks like it's worth less. if I were to flip it around, $92,000 is 76,000 euros. We could flip it around. I can look at the max, which is like from January 30th, 2012. Yeah, it does look like. Yeah, it does look like it was down. It doesn't actually. I don't even know. I think it was euro. But if I did, for example, if I did instead of euros, let's say I did like yen instead. The yen, well, I meant to do 92,000. Yeah, because $92,000 is, 9.6 million yen. If I were to do $92,000 compared to like, I'm trying to think what else. Thinking like Canadian dollars. 92,000 Canadian dollars. The Canadian dollars are still, comparative. Now instead of dollars, what if I did pounds? Pounds are worth more. Okay, because 92,000 pounds is 125,000. We were below. No, we weren't. We were still above. 92,000 pounds is $125,000. Anyway, thank you guys. I'm gonna take care and goodbye, everybody. And I